Welcome to BTC Racing. This week we've taken a trip north for our annual visit to Knockhill in Scotland. After the highs and lows of Alton Park, the objective this weekend for the team are to collect points. The day's just about to get underway here, so you guys have got a lot of work to do.
Yes, we have, with the first two practice sessions quite close together. The guys are frantically prepping the tyres ready for first practice.
So what is the process that you have to run through? Obviously there's 3 cars that you're looking after, so you know, a fair amount of tyres in here and quite a big job to do beforehand.
Yeah, so each car's got its own tyre engineer, and he's responsible for looking after those tyres for each car. Each car will have 24 slick tyres per round, and each tyre will behave differently on the circuit, so each tyre gets a different amount of care depending where it's going to go on the car.
Time now for a bit of a debrief, regroup for free practice 2.
I think we'll change a couple of things for FP2 and just try and move forward.
But both practice sessions are over. All the cars are very, very close here on this tight, twisty Knockhill circuit. How are you feeling about where the team are placed?
Looking forward to it. I think we've tried a few things. We're going to go back a bit closer to where we were last year. And as I said this morning, we had a second, and I think we can get ourselves back in it. It was a good lap by Tom with the ballast. I think that was pretty impressive. And I think we can do all right. Fingers crossed.
This is always a difficult circuit, isn't it? But it's also a great challenge.
It is. The track's undulating, it's fast, it's everything these lads want to do. It's aggressive on the cars, that's for sure, but it's the same for everybody and we have to make the most of it now.
How much information have you gathered that's going to help you?
How much have we gathered? We've probably learned quite a bit since since Shakedown probably. We were going sort of one way and then we went back towards the Alton Park, and now we're sort of in the middle of that. But again, because the track's so different, we just need to make sure that we don't go the wrong way. But we're pretty confident that we've got a good setup, and I'm pretty sure that they'll perform. You know, if Tom can do the same thing this time, put some new tyres on, put some new brakes on, do a good lap, and then I think we could definitely see it. Josh we've had a bit of an issue with Josh because we've tried so many things, but that's what FP1 and FP2 is, and we'll go and see what we can do now in the qualifying session.
Well, we've just left free practice 2 with a car I like the feel of. We had a good balance in the car. I was 0.3 of a second off pole position just then, so I was thinking 0.3 off. I've got 18 kilos of lead on. That's worth just under 0.2 of a second, so I was thinking we got just over 1/10 of a second to find. Where am I? Thinking I must be top 5. They said you're 12th. It's so close. I love the British touring cars because it is so close, but it's soul destroying when you're literally that far off first and you're 12th. So we're working hard on the car, and I just hope we're in the top 10 in qualifying. We deserve to be in the top 10. You know, we've worked really hard on the car, and I feel like I'm driving really well. It's one of my favourite circuits, yeah, who knows what's going to happen until qualifying.
As you say, it's so close. I think it was half a second between the top 17 cars, so incredibly close, even if no room for error at all.
No, absolutely not. I mean, success ballast should really hurt you around here. It's quite interesting, though, the boys with weight are still up at the front at the moment, so I think I'm hoping it's just a qualifying thing for those guys, and I'm hoping that in the race they'll struggle. My race pace at the moment is very good. Lap after lap I'm doing within the same 1/10 of a second every single lap, so I'm very confident on the race car yet again. The qualifying car, as good as it feels and as tiny amount I am on first at the moment, I am P12, so we are going to have to work hard now for qualifying.
So Danny here is preparing a tyre for qualifying. He's removing the pickup that the car has picked up while it's been out on circuit in a previous session. The reason we do this is because we know and understand the rubber below that pickup It will clean up after a few laps, but the tyre will warm up at different rates. So because we know and understand the rubber below that, we remove that pickup because we don't know necessarily where it's come from. It could be from other championships running today, or it could be from other cars doing different setups.
Now Josh Cook, he could be another improvement, couldn't he? He's 11th for the BTC Racing squad. But Taylor and Steve Duncan's OKeefe chases after teammate Tom Chilton, who stays out. It goes down towards Duffer's Dip now. 5.5 minutes just over remains. Chilton's on it. See the car quivering, and he hits one of those floppy markers, gets rid of that. So Chilton hustling on.
Yeah, straight away. But as you say, we lost 2 minutes. Look, the car's got cold tyres. You can see it twitching about. But the only way to generate heat in the tyres is to lean on the mark. So even if this lap isn't the quickest, he's warming the tyres up as quick as he possibly can, ready for the next lap. And at the moment, we've got 22 cars covered by 1 second.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're not done yet either. Chilton down a little bit in that first sector, but a personal best in the middle, so it's coming good for him. Can he find anything before the very end? 5 minutes to go.
Look how close to the edge of the grass he gets there on the pit lane. Now, so look how much more stable the car looks now. It's got a bit more temperature into it. It held its line perfectly going down through Leslie's. He's been neat and tidy so far.
Here is Chilton, who hits the brakes, turns into the hairpin. He was up in sector 1, but down in sector 2. As you can see, there should still be chance for an improvement, but it won't necessarily rocket him up the order. Let's see where he puts him as he goes through. Actually, it keeps him 18th. It wasn't an improvement. What about Chilton? We're still trying to talk him up the order. Tom has done 2 personal bests. This could be a good lap for him. Over the timing line, he goes to 12th. It's better. It's not brilliant, but it's a lot better. There's the other BTC duo, Michael Crease, who goes 13th ahead of Josh Cook. So Crease out-qualifying Chilton. Michael Crease taking up 2-wheel driving, coming through Duffer's Dip, having a big old moment as well. It goes one way, he hangs on to it, splitter grinds against the ground. Josh Cook's worth watching. He's done a personal best in sector 1. Chilton's done 2 personal bests. There is Cook down towards the hairpin. Is this going to be an improver for him? Up towards the timing line. First of all comes Chilton, who's done 2 personal best, gets the flag, and he goes up to 11th. Cook goes up to 10th, and Moffat goes up to 8th. So it all shuffles right at the very end.
It's brilliant. It's the undulations, the positive and negative cambers, the big curves, the fact that the whole car takes off in the air. It's brilliant. It reminds me of the Neuschleiferring, which is one of my favourite circuits, which I held the lap record in the World Touring Cars in. So this circuit is very much like that, and a bit gung-ho, and it's a bit me.
At the end of qualifying, I think we're much happier with the car now than we obviously were in free practice. I think the problems we had in free practice are cured now. I think we just needed a bit more track time.
He obviously likes the balance of it here, much more.
Yeah, we've changed it a bit here, so he likes certain aspects of it, yeah. So it's just a case of putting it together for the race.
Fine tuning. And then?
Yeah, we found a good chunk between FP2 and quali, half second, so yeah, I'm pleased with that. Top of the Jack Sears as well, so yeah, no, we're happy.
It's been a trouble-filled day, but yeah, got that together in qualifying, so that's not too bad. But doesn't I've got to do it all again tomorrow just to get some points.
It's race morning here at Knockhill, and we've got a few hours before everything gets underway, so I've taken the opportunity to come down and meet Mr. and Mrs. Crease.
Hello, morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Come on in.
Jodie, Michael, thanks very much for chatting to us this morning and inviting us into the motorhome. Great to see you both here together. How important is that for the two of you to sort of enjoy this part of your career together?
Yeah, I mean, having Jodie here this weekend in Scotland's been really good. Obviously missed our Brands and Alton, which was one of the first times you haven't been in it,
yeah,
I think.
It was tricky.
But yeah, it's great to have her back on board. The team have been really supportful of what's happened for us, and yeah, it sort of gave me a good kick up the bum yesterday for qualifying, having her here.
Yeah, it was like dragging his chin man, weren't you?
Yeah,
so,
she said get out there and do it, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's difficult not having the children here because we do really love to be together, and obviously we've got a really strong support from my family, so they're at home and they're having a great time. But it does feel weird and quiet coming up and not having the kids.
Quite nice,
out.
really.
Yeah, yeah, it was quite nice. We did book a meal to go out, and then we was like, let's just enjoy the quiet. So we stayed in. So that was really nice. But yeah, it's important to us to be like stick as a family as much as we can. So.
Michael, you came into motor racing fairly late on, but you also run a business, so this is a second career for you effectively. What made you choose to get involved in motorsport?
Well, that's it all sprung from me opening a company and having a few spare quid to go racing at Buckmore Park, which is my local go-kart track, and I never had the money to do it before. And so, you know, I entered the local championship there, which was up at about £100 a month I was spending on go-karting, and ended up winning the championship. And I really enjoyed winning, and I won everything that I'd done in karting that year, and it sort of led me on to where we sort of got now with the Ginettas that are out there, and then the 55s, and then on to touring car, and we just never looked back. And Jodie's always said to me, like, she bought me this keyring once, and she said, don't stop till you get to the top. And for some reason we've just kept winning, and we've got to the top, and we're here, and you know, we're winning the Jack Sears, and that's where we want to win that this year, and then next year we want to win the Independents, and then the following year we want to win the British Touring Car. And if we go on like the way we're doing it, it'd be an incredible journey.
Jodie, what did you see in Michael to sort of push him towards that? Because it sounds like that's what you did. You know, you've been a support from the beginning instead of going, oh no, that's not what you should do.
Yeah.
You've got a family, but you must have seen something. What was it?
Yeah, I think when we went to Le Mans and Michael was doing, he was working, you was in a group, weren't you, in a team?
Yeah.
And every time Michael went out, the sort of scoreboard was going up, and then, no disrespect to the others, but then it was dropping back down in the team. And then that's when I said to him, I just think you ought to go solo and just be yourself and go out and just give it a go on your own. He was like, oh, but what if I'm not good enough? But I was like, but I would rather just go and try it than be. So that's what he did. He went solo, and you went on your own, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, obviously we're here now, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy.
When we think about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's our fourth season of racing. We've had two. This is our second year in touring car. It's just, it's mad.
But we always sort of say we don't know how we did it. Like the first year in Ginetta, because our son Hugo was probably 2.
Yeah.
And we always say to each other, where did we go? What did we actually do? Because now we've got the RV, it's so much easier with a family.
Yeah.
But before, now I look at people standing out in the freezing cold with their little children, and I think it's hard. It would be a hard sport to do with the family if you don't do it right. I think it could be quite stressful, but we've got it right. So
it must bring a lot to the family, to your children, because the experiences that they are having being involved in this environment, this competitive environment, it will give them their own personality. Was that something that you thought of at the beginning, or has it just evolved?
Well, it's made my son really competitive. He's really competitive now. Gets really like cross when he watches the touring car when we was at home last week. But I think it's brought our family together. I know, like my aunties and my uncles, my mum and dad, they're all setting up the garage today with the TV. Like everyone's, it's not just us. It's like everyone around us. We're all really close, aren't we?
Obviously, you've just explained there that it's a whole family environment, so no pressure really, Michael. But you're actually, every race, you seem to be learning so much to give you confidence going into the next one. Would you say that was a fair estimation of where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, coming to BTC was part of that. You know, is the decision why we come here. We knew we had great teammates with Josh Cook and Tom Chilton. You know, you can't get much more experience than what we've got there, and Josh has taken me under his wing, to be fair, and he's really brought me on to that next level, and that's now we're knocking on the door of the top 10. And he said to me yesterday, you know, we'll just shave off the rough edges and you'll be title contender for sure next year. So.
I mean, it is a very competitive championship, the British Touring Car Championship. The racing is phenomenal, but behind the wheel there's a lot of work goes on, isn't there, from you as a driver? It's not a case of just getting in the car and racing around the track. There's so much else to take on board. How would you explain that?
Well, I mean, put it this way, we come out of Alton Park on Sunday night, we were here on Monday morning and we haven't stopped. I mean, me and Josh we've been going through start procedures where I've been making a few mistakes. We've been going through race runs, we've been going through overtaking, we've been going through data from Knockhill, from Alton, what we've done right, from Brands, from Donington. You know, it just doesn't stop, and it's been like that from Monday morning till now, and after the races, or every time we get out the car, you've seen yourself, we're in a debrief, and they go on for an hour, maybe longer sometimes, and you're forever learning. Do you know what I mean? So and even when you get home, you're always looking for new sponsors or something like that. So it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Jodie, how proud are you?
I'm so proud. Yeah, it's amazing. I still think he's got so much in him as well. So I know this isn't the end yet. I think this is the beginning, and he knows how proud I am of him, and the children are. So we've just got to keep going and hopefully keep doing your thing.
Yeah. Keep winning.
It's certainly the beginning, that's for sure. And it's always a pleasure to chat to you, and wishing you both a great weekend.
Thank you very much. Cheers for all the support.
But it's race day today, and of course it's your 100th race. How are you feeling about that?
Excited, can't wait to get going. I think if you look over it, we've had a meteoric rise over the last 2 years. I think this is going to be, going forward, something that's going to be good for the team and something to look forward to.
It's quite a landmark though, isn't it? So many changes have happened for you, but the future's looking good.
Yeah, it is. I think we've got a magnificent team of people. I think the funding and everything's in place for us to do another 100 races and see where we are. When you look at Matt Neal did 700 races last week, they've been in a long time. We're into our 100 and it's great to get here.
Round 10 of the Kwik Fit British Touring Car Championship is coming up. Lights go red, lights out, we're racing. It's a good start by Sutton. What about Turkington? Will he get the drop on Jake Hill? Yes, he will.
And Cook gets up the inside. Does he know of Oliphant? No, he doesn't. Jelly looks like he's just struggling a bit to get his car in the zone. He's under real pressure from Oliphant, who made another of his customary good starts.
Oliphant on the attack. Josh Cook looking good, as we saw at Alton Park. Very racy indeed is Josh, chasing after Oliphant as they drop into Duffers Dip now. Moffat having a go at him, as now Josh Cook's round the outside of Oliphant, and he's having a go at Jelly. And at the inside of Adam Morgan goes Tom Chilton. Josh Cook on the outside line as they climb the hill. Is there going to be enough real estate for him to get the move done against Oliphant, who will have the inside line going into Duffers Dip? Tom Oliphant in the BMW, Josh Cook in the Honda on the outside. Fantastic, round the outside he goes. That was brave.
That was a great move. This is all caused because Stephen Jenny just can't quite get his car in the zone. They've all been bunching up and falling over each other behind him. Oh, and Cook's lost it. That's going to be a big off. Now, there's a lot of damage. Look how that rear wheel's pushed into the body. That's a lot of damage. Definitely a safety car, which is out now, but it's an unusual place to lose the rear.
Tommy's making progress. He always goes well around Knockhill. He's been a winner in pretty much everything, right back to his team cars days around Knockhill. So can he get himself up through the order as the day goes on, ready for race 3 maybe? It's Chilton versus Jelly. Chilton 10 stays ahead as they drop down through Duffers.
If they stay like this, the weight isn't going to change very much at the front, apart from Hill gaining it. Sutton and Turkington will swap the weights, but it's only 6 kilos between them.
And Ash Sutton in the Infinity wins at Knockhill for Laser Tools Racing. Colin Turkington is second, 3/10 back, and Jake Hill third.
Steve, first of all, how's Josh?
He reported on the radio straight away that he was okay. One of the lads has spoke to him on the phone, so he seems to be alright. I think he's having medical checks now.
Obviously you have the car back here now. Do you know what happened? Have you actually been able to speak to Josh? Can you enlighten us as to what happened on track?
I'm not entirely sure what happened on track. It looked like something may have let go, but I can't find anything wrong at the moment until I get to speak to Josh to see if he had contact before the incident. I'm not too sure what happened at the stage.
So you've got the car back here, you've done a quick evaluation of it. There looks like a lot of damage. Can you tell us what the damage is and whether you'll get it out for the second race?
The safety cage is fine from what we can tell at the moment, so we're going to give it a go. The rear floor is completely folded in, so we've got to push the rear floor out, but the safety cage side of the car seems to have done its job properly and is still intact, so it gives us a chance of getting it back into the race 2 at this stage.
So incredible work by the team to get Josh's car out for the second race this weekend.
Yeah, that was amazing. Literally, the guys have just pulled out of here. That was a massive team effort. I'm just so proud of them all. It was a worry, but they've done so much work. It's been incredible. When you watch them working together, they just work so perfectly in harmony. It's amazing to watch. That was awesome.
Round 11 then of the Kwik British Touring Car Championship set to get underway. Who is going to hit turn 1 first? Let's find out as the lights, which are red, go as they drop through McIntyre's for the first time.
Yeah, well, as predicted, the two rear-wheel drive cars, and round goes Cook. Oh no! Well, he hasn't even had an opportunity to find out what the car's like.
Tom Chilton up the inside, but I fear we're going to end up with a safety car with poor Josh Cook in the gravel. Honestly, when it's not your year, it's not your year. Safety car deployed. That's Chilton going to the inside and gaining a place from Hill. That puts him up into 7th, but Proctor 12. Remember, that's the key number as far as the reverse grid is concerned. Yet another stalker as you look at Bobby Thompson on the back of Michael Crease here, and those two running behind Adam Morgan, who's a bit mired in midfield here in 14th place, chasing after Ollie Jackson, who's made pretty reasonable progress up from 16th. Thompson to the inside of Crease gets the job done at Clark's. And Michael Crease attacks. Sam Osborne is behind them, as you see, climbing the hill. Round 11 of the British Touring Car Championship is won by Ash Sutton here at Knockhill.
Josh, it'd be fair to say it's been a challenging day for you here at Knockhill. Good to see that you're all good after that race 1 incident. How was it from your seat?
Yeah, not great. Obviously, big hit in race 1. Guys did a mega job to get the car back out, which looked unlikely, but yeah, they did it. So huge effort by them, and then got taken out turn 2, 3 in race 2. So not really much to talk about.
Well, the guys obviously worked incredibly hard to get that car repaired. Disappointing for everyone, yourself included, that happened in race 2.
Yeah, it's yeah, not ideal.
What was the extent of the damage to the car?
Obviously took a real big hit across the rear of the car. Obviously did the roof, both rear quarters. A lot of what you can't see behind is yeah, very damaged. I mean, we've got all the wheels pointing in the right direction, but there's going to be an extensive repair to be done before Thruxton.
You going to be out for race 3?
Hopefully. Had a few more issues that threw up that were separate after being taken out again in race 2, so the guys are looking at that. Some potential engine issues that they're now addressing, so I hope for everybody's sake that everything's fine. You know, they've done enough today, so we don't want to be doing an engine change as well.
Luck's just not on your side at the moment, is it?
Definitely not, but you know, they say you make your own luck. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, you know. The DNF at Alton or the exclusion from Alton was real unlucky. You know, we're doing the job. We're quick, but just not getting the rub of the green. So all we can do is just keep doing what we're doing. You know, when you end up at the back, you end up having to race with people that aren't very experienced, and no matter how much room you leave and how wide you drive the corner, you know, you get taken out. So it's what it is, but we've got to yeah, just get our head down, final race today, see if there's any points to be gained. But you know, our championship campaign is not looking strong.
Steve, it's been quite challenging here at Knockhill for the team. You as team principal have been observing quite a lot of it. How did you see it from your seat?
Well, observations are one thing, getting your hands dirty is another. We all mucked in today. It was really unfortunate. I've seen the evidence now of what's caused the accident for Josh. It's a massive piece of steel that he's run over and burst the tyre. And they found it retained in the tyre when they examined it. So that's what happened to Josh. And of course, Tom's been really solid this weekend. And Creasy, he's trying. He's just gaining more and more experience.
I mean, Josh has just, I mean, what can you say? He's had so much bad luck effectively, hasn't he? I mean, that situation that caused the incident in race 1, so much damage to the car. Team did an amazing job to put it all back together for him.
Yeah, the team did a brilliant job, and even Bert got in there with a sledgehammer. So it was very pleasing to see everybody pull together. Josh's breakdown in race 2 was just a technical hitch with an engine sensor that told it that it didn't have any oil pressure properly. But it's just one of those things that happens now and again. It's just unfortunate. Big shunt, you can damage a sensor quite easily. So everything's okay, and we're ready to rock for the 3rd heat.
We're just about to head into the final race of the day. It's the obvious question from me, but how would you like to see it go?
I'd like all 3 cars, obviously, to come home with all 4 corners on and nothing hanging off. And I'd like Tom to see his first podium for the year, and I'd like Josh to just get his mojo back after 2 disappointing rounds. And of course, Michael, we want to see Michael just keep moving up. That's what we want to do.
Round 12 of the Kwik British Touring Car Championship is go. Good start by Butcher. Is it good enough to get ahead of Proctor? He's level with him as they go down towards Duffer's Dip. Some very determined drivers, Chilton being one of them, Dan Camish being another. Chilton dives up the inside of Chris Smiley. Tom Chilton always goes well around here. We've been saying all day he's working his way forward, thinking about race 3. Chilton is flying then as they come up over the line. He has got weight on the car, remember, 24 kilos, but he's managing it nicely. He's on the inside of Smiley. He's third as they go into Duffer's Dip then. So the BTC Honda up into the top 3 now. Michael Priest there, and Josh Cook's put them all up as well. Priest goes a little bit wide coming out of Clark's. That opens the door for Jelly. Gordon goes past him and Josh Cook looking for a gap against Jelly. Thompson gets up Gordon gets up the inside of Priest. Jelly. Chilton is under attack. Sarah Proctor unable to match the pace of Butcher, but well clear of this squabble. Out wide as you see, through the gravel, over the curb, back onto the road. Here they are, Tom Chilton just ahead of Tom Oliphant as they come to the hairpin. It's Jake Hill in 5th. Rory Butcher wins race 3 at Knockhill. 2nd is Senna Proctor, being caught at the end by Tom Chilton, who takes 3rd.
Tom, many congratulations. How great does that feeling feel, being on that podium?
Oh, it feels brilliant to hold a trophy again. Oh, it's great. It feels like it's been forever. But, you know, it was fantastic. It was BTC Racing's 102nd race in the championship. It was my 101st podium in my racing career in cars. And, yeah, it's very nice to hold it right now. But it is my first trophy in coronavirus field, so it was a bit unusual going up on the podium and not actually staying up there with my fellow racers for some photos. But as you can hear, there's the national anthem going on behind. Well done to Rory Butcher, local boy, for winning the race, but well done to our team for putting such a great car together for me this weekend.
But it's been an interesting weekend, certainly had a number of challenges, but to end the day with a podium for Tom must be quite a sweetener.
Yeah, definitely. 100% I think that if you looked at the beginning of the weekend, it was looking FP1, FP2. We just didn't quite get the rubber to green, and then obviously what happened to Josh, really still can't believe what's happened. But for Tom to drive, I don't know where he came from, 12th wasn't it, to 7th, and then the reverse grid to get a podium, it's fantastic. And I'm so pleased for Tom, because they have worked on that car all weekend, relentless. So I'm very pleased, very pleased.
I mean, they say there's highs and lows in motorsports. We say that quite regularly. My goodness, I think it's been highs and lows all weekend. Yeah,
of course. I mean, as I said, the crash was, well, it was meteoric, wasn't it? I mean, we punched the floor that far over. It had twisted the crash box in the back. So by the time we got the crash box out, that was difficult to get the crash box out. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, full, total, utter respect for them lads to get that car repaired was immense. So I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon yet again. The team effort, the work ethic at BTC, it's awesome, absolutely awesome.
I mean, the team, as you say, worked incredibly hard to turn Josh's car around so quickly, because it was such a short gap, wasn't there, to the second race. So something for you to be proud of. Yeah, no, definitely. As I said, it was our 100th weekend. I think we'll have to look forward to about 200 now. But again, they did such a good job. You know, when you looked at it, even, you know, when I went to see, I just couldn't see how they were going to do it. And literally a bit after a bit after a bit, and then they were putting it back on its wheels and doing the tracking, and we were coming back out to line up. The start was just unlucky, you know, he got knocked off at the start, but I think ultimately it was a fantastic weekend for BTC, regardless of what happened, because Tom's got a podium, and I'm so pleased for Tom. So that's where we are today. So packing up now, heading home, a little bit of a rest before the next one. Yeah, of course, we're going to go home. These lads are going to have tomorrow off. Well, by the time they get home, it'll be tomorrow. Go home, have a rest, and then we'll regroup on Tuesday, and obviously 5 or 6 days on Josh's to get it repaired, and then a weekend will go past, then the second one, and then all of a sudden we'll be going to Thruxton. But a good end to that.
Oh, fantastic. Over the moon.